All right. Hello, everyone. It is us. Behold, we are here. Welcome to the Academic Ale House. The horror you are seeing on screen is what we're covering tonight.
Yes, we're taking a break from rewriting Ripley since we've done it for like what 2 months now in a row.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. I do apologize for my absence last week. My parents, uh, were celebrating something, so I had to be away. Anyway, without further ado, let's start. Apparently, this is one of the most interesting things this creature has read all week. Hello, John Rice.
Ooh, right on time.
Is she wearing contacts to make her eyes look like serpent's eyes?
Um,
Or is it just like the camera?
I think it's a camera, but yeah, I see what you mean. Look like little slit pupils.
Yeah. Are we sufficiently warned? I feel sufficiently warned. And the horror of the language people use. Who's oh oh by the way, so Sticks Hex and Hammer, big fan. And someone send this to him. Said like I think it was last week or this week at some point in one of his videos, like that Mark Zuckerberg was a robot. No, sir, I disagree. He's a lizard person. You can see it when he looks in his eyes. Actually, I would say Mark Zuckerberg is probably some form of amphibian. But moving on, we have other cringe to work with. Uh, I can't read that. Can you?
Hold on a sec. See, let's see.
I
Stay
think you might
sexy
be
and
able
don't
to
get
read it out,
murdered.
but
Okay, we talk about how many women were word that will get our video taken down
yeah.
last year. Not about how many men naughty worded women. We talk about how many girls in the school district were are we allowed to say that word?
I don't know.
Harassed. How many women were harassed last year? Not how many boys harassed girls. But
So I'm guessing that just continues on.
we will see.
I think she's about to read it out, so let's hold off. I was just like,
Wait, I'm not hearing anything from my end.
uh, hold on. Are we getting audio? Let me just double check, then make sure. How about now?
Well, let's hear it. No, still nothing.
Still nothing? I clicked share audio.
I mean, I can hear you perfectly fine. Not sure why the video isn't doing it.
Yeah, but can you hear the video?
No, I can't hear the videos. I can hear you though. Well, John Rice says he can hear us. Hey, John, can you hear the video itself that we're trying to react to?
Let's try this.
girls. We talk about how many teenage girls got pregnant in the
Okay,
state of
I hear that. I hear that.
rather than
Okay.
We're good. All right, let's do this.
I don't understand why that was.
how many men and teenage boys got girls pregnant. So you can see how the use of this passive voice has a political effect.
No, I can't. Uh, so all right, so let's go thing by thing, shall we? Yeah. So we talk about how many women were raped last year, not about how many men raped women. Well,
I mean, so is there really a difference between saying it?
no, not linguistically. The only thing she's done is single out as it. The only thing that this author has done is basically single out a group of people, a specific group. So instead of saying women were raped, it's men raped women because there's men getting raped and females committing rape doesn't happen.
Yeah, and not to mention, it completely disregards any sexual harassment that could occur between lesbian couples.
Exactly. Like teenage girls got pregnant in the state of Vermont last year rather than how many men and teenage boys got girls pregnant. It does take two to tango. You know that, right, author? Like I feel bad for this bedroom feminist girl. Well, because she's read this and and I guarantee you, she read this and was like, you know what? That makes sense. But the reality is, it's just gobbledygook. All this author has done was essentially place the blame for these crimes, I guess, and the only real crime on there is rape. Like that's all she's done is just single out a group as the responsible party. It's not, oh, oh, women were raped. It's men raped women. They are responsible for the rape of women. They, as a group, are responsible for the rape of women. Only they can commit said crime. Like only men are involved in in pregnancy at all. No. It's not passive though. It's descriptive. But even if it was arguably and even if it is, passive voice is not the same as it's not the same as passive being passive.
Like I said earlier, it's this way. It's also more inclusive because it can take any forms of sexual assault that happens between lesbians. It's like men aren't the only ones that commit rape. And
It shifts the focus off men and boys and onto girls and women. Even the term violence against women is problematic. It's a passive construction. There's no active agent in the sentence.
I mean,
But
oh.
there's there's not a need for an active agent within the sentence.
I mean, violence against women pretty much speaks for itself.
Exactly. The passive construction is not inherently a bad thing. Because it is an agreement, it is a moral agreement essentially. You're saying that violence against this group of people is wrong or is problematic. But there's not someone that would disagree with that statement. Nor Like there doesn't need to be an active agent.
A bad thing that happens to women. It's a bad thing that happens to women, but when you look at that term violence against women, nobody is doing it to them. It just happens. Men aren't even a part of it.
No, you can easily put two and two together when you read something like that. You don't have to. You don't have to spell it out.
But exactly. But let's be honest, if but that's the thing. If we say men's violence against women, it poses men as the default of, hey, these people are responsible for this. It's not women's violence against women or anything like that. It is only men can be violent towards women. Violence doesn't just happen to women, it is violence as a general term.
So you may have seen this in the press. Baroness Jones is suggesting a curfew of 6 p.m. for men.
Yeah, she was lambasted for that. That this woman is, by the way, this woman is in this Sarah Everard. She is in British Parliament, and she recommended a curfew for men and was soundly beaten down, as deserved.
Well, that would be a great time to come out as gender fluid. I'm a man during the day, but I feel more like a woman around 6 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
In the UK, and this will make women safer. There have been a lot of people protesting against this and saying that this is nuts, which, whatever. But the point that she's making is that following the disappearance of Sarah Everard, the official advice from the police was that women should not be allowed to go out, or shouldn't.
Yes, correct.
Go out by themselves in the evening. And that includes, running an errand, jogging, going to a friend's house, walking your dog. They were literally saying that women should stay in their houses.
Are women not allowed to have pepper
No.
spray in the UK?
No. She's completely twisting what the police said. The police advised. And I'm sure they were like, they very much said, hey, we don't know whether this was some sort of serial killing. We don't know whether this was personally motivated. This woman has disappeared. It is best that the people in the local area take under advisement that this has happened and take measures to protect themselves. She's not using rhetoric to make a point. She's just being sexist. But you, my dear, have misinterpreted the police as being saying, "Oh, we should put this is an excuse to keep women in the kitchen somehow." But the reality is they're saying, "Hey, if you're going out, take into account that this woman disappeared. We don't know why. You might want to take steps to protect yourself because you are a free human being with agency."
And the point that Baroness Jones is making is we've been telling girls and women this for decades, that they should not go out in the evening, when actually it's men who are the problem in this scenario.
Okay, hold on. So is Baroness is like her actual name?
I don't know.
That's
No, her actual name is like Sarah Everard.
Well, it says Green Party's Baroness Jones.
Maybe it is.
Baroness is her.
Baroness is going to be her title.
Yeah, it's gonna say. Does Britain even have a? Does Britain even do barons and baronesses?
Yeah, they do.
Oh, so is she like an actual? So she would be an actual baroness.
Yes, she's probably in the House of Lords.
Okay, so it's not like it's her first name or something.
No.
Okay, that's what I was asking.
Title.
Who are the problem in this scenario?
But why? Most violent crime happens to men. But even in this scenario is ridiculous. It is an advisement. It is in order to protect yourself, not because we're sexist. It's saying, hey, take measures as a being with agency to protect yourself. Personal responsibility is an alien concept to these women. Jesus Christ.
When I say that I'm afraid of men, I mean it, and this is why. On Friday
Uh-huh.
Ooh, fear me.
I'm afraid of men.
night, I went out to dinner with a couple of friends. When we sat down, there was a table not far from us that was quite rowdy. It had a husband, a wife, and 3 teenage boys.
The horror.
I hadn't even been sitting there for 5 minutes when I noticed that the husband was staring directly at me. I made eye contact with him several times to let him know that I was aware he was staring at me. However, this apparently
Oh my god, she's about... Part of me thinks this is one of those Tumblr stories where it ends by everybody clapping. The other part of me thinks this probably didn't happen. You probably made awkward eye contact with the guy in the restaurant, and he left. He was just like, oh, and he moved on, and you were upset about that. Or there's a third scenario. He was absolutely not looking at you. Ooh, he was staring at something behind you and told his boys to turn around so they could look.
only egged him on. He proceeded to stare for longer periods of time, told his 3 teenage boys to turn around and do the exact same thing. He then winked at me several times and picked up his phone to take a picture of me.
I definitely don't believe this happened now.
At this point, I picked up my phone and I did the exact same thing. And he didn't even look away. This man made me so...
Hold up. Girl, where's his phone? And why are you zoomed in? Who's this? Oh my gosh. A man looked at me. The horror.
Look away. This man made me so uncomfortable that I lost my appetite and I had to excuse myself from the table.
Wow. The
So
horror.
I don't know. You couldn't talk to the manager of the restaurant about it or something.
No, not even that. Really, girl? Really? This dude probably didn't even actually take a picture of you. He probably just picked up his phone to look at it. This entire thing could be entirely innocuous. You've just blown it up into your own mind, thinking he was somehow salivating over you, which I'm sure makes you wet. Makes you super hot, because thinking that the married guy is going to cheat on his wife, he he can't control himself because I'm so hot, which really rate you probably a 3 at best.
And before one of you says, well, not all men, you're right. Not every man is a disgusting pig, but it's enough.
So we can acknowledge that not every man is awful.
And yet
Is the root of all evil.
And yet she said she's afraid of men, though.
Yeah.
Isn't that'd be kind of like saying I'm afraid of black people, but I know not all black people are bad.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm afraid of all men. Girl, I would not be surprised if she blew this whole thing out of proportion.
There's only one bullet in a game of Russian roulette, but that keeps you from pulling the trigger, doesn't it?
What? You may want to turn that down. I think I can hear myself.
Oh.
What?
Better?
Hold on. No, I can still hear me. I don't know if anyone else can, but I can.
Interesting.
Like, what? Why is this here? What random bullshit is this? Did you think this sounded deep?
So rewind it about like 10 seconds. I just want to kind of figure out what led her to saying that again.
A disgusting pig, but it's enough. There's only one bullet in a game of Russian roulette, but that keeps you from pulling the trigger, doesn't it?
What?
I'm trying to figure out what made her.
I
What's
don't
the Russian
know.
roulette analogy?
I don't know. I think she just thinks it's deep, so she's just like, oh, if I say this at the end of my TikTok, it'll be like total gotcha moment. We're those guys that are gonna be in the comments being like,
So
not
what?
all men.
What? So the guys that are good are the ones that are keeping her from shooting herself, I guess.
I don't think so. I don't think that's what she's pointing at. I think she's saying that the people who were like, there's only one argument against her, and it's the not all men straw man. And she's just like, oh well, I cut that off at the past. Gotcha.
Okay, I guess the bad bin that she's talking about would be the bullets, the one bullet that's in the gun.
No, she's talking about, like, she brings up the whole
Game of Russian roulette, but that keeps you from. Man is a disgusting pig.
so she's like, not every, and before one of you says, well, not all men, that's the bullet I think she's referring to. And she's like, this is the one argument they have against my random anecdote that has no evidence. And it's aside from a picture I took of a guy in a restaurant that I could have gotten off the internet.
But it's enough. There's only one bullet in a game of Russian roulette, but that keeps you from pulling the trigger, doesn't it?
Nope. I can still hear me.
So you're hearing like an echo?
I can hear me coming through your speakers.
How about now? Is this better?
Hello?
Hello?
Correct. All right, I can't hear me anymore.
Good. I just pulled the mic off my table. I'm just holding it up to my face now.
That might be what you need to do. All right.
Normalize.
There's more bullets in my gun than not all men, sweetheart.
Russian roulette, but that keeps you from pulling the trigger, doesn't it?
Normalize this, normalize that. I think we should talk about what we should denormalize. Like, what should we start making people feel is super weird, like they're the only person who does it?
Do I want to know where this is going?
I kind of do, but I also want to know, is this a boy or is this a girl? Like in Pokemon, which option are you choosing, friend? Like, I think it might be a girl, but the somewhat broad shoulders and the shirt sort of point me in the boy direction. Curse you, you androgyny. Anyway, the horn-rimmed glasses tell you everything you need to know. This subject is too far gone into the depths of feminism and social justice for us to pull them out.
And I think our first victim should be men who don't do housework.
Is yard work not housework? Is, cleaning the bathroom, cleaning the toilet, cleaning the kitchen not housework? Just, I don't know about you, but my dad did those things. I did those things.
Yeah, my dad does the same things too. It sounds like she's basing this off of some kind of old, like 1950s stereotype.
Well, yeah, there's a lot that's changed since then. Are you sure, John Rice? I don't think so. Then it's not a girl. Anyway, I have to say that yeah, the things have changed since the 1950s. Not most people will tend to do housework pretty evenly. Since, they're working most times. Most times both members of the household are working.
Oh, you don't clean? Like at all? Wow. I've never heard of that.
Neither have I.
Neither have I. Like it's like these people think that men don't live on their own at some point in their lives. Like they don't inherently learn how to clean up after themselves. They just live in squalor until women and marry them and like save their and like save them from the living in the squalor part. Like women like bow down from the heavens and pick men up out of the muck and marry them. Like, is that what she thinks? He thinks? I don't know. Fuck you, goddamn it, Shoggoth. You are Shoggoth now.
Shoggoth 2.0.
No, from now on, anyone without identifiable gender signals, it will be Shoggoth. Done. It is declared.
What are the pronouns of Shoggoth?
Shoggoth and Shoggoth.
All right.
Anyway, Shoggoth over here, is somehow has somehow bought into the illusion that men don't like live on their own and they don't live with roommates, people that do clean, that they don't have their own spaces that they have to clean up and organize. What insanity is this?
No, I'm not saying it's bad. I just mean like all the men I know like do half the housework. So you don't do your wife's laundry?
Why would I do my wife? Why would I do my significant other's laundry? Like, better question. Like, okay, there's probably one person in the household who does laundry.
Yeah, but yeah, growing up, my mom was the one who did the laundry.
I learned to do my own laundry.
Yep, same here. But by
Wait,
the time
what?
I was 18, since I became very stingy about how I wanted my stuff being washed.
Hmm. Well, like, what is this?
Oh, she does your laundry. Wow. Oh my god, that's like unique. That's different. So who does everything? She does all of it? Oh my god, how does she do that? I've never heard of anyone doing that.
Tell me.
How? What do you mean?
What the fuck?
Yeah, my mom did most of the laundry. No complaints.
Like, I don't understand why these feminists and other people act like housework is like the end all be all for the line of equality. Getting men to do 50% of the housework. Meanwhile, men living on their own are like, I do all of my housework and my laundry because I have to have fresh suits for Monday. When my boss comes and chews me out for some measly mistake someone else made. If my suit and shirt look rumpled, I'm gonna get fired. And then on this date this weekend that I'm trying to impress this girl, my girlfriend who I've been dating for 2 years, well, I'd better clean up my apartment. Vacuum, dust the wood, Like, it's like they don't understand that people can live and often do live on their own. Hello, Prism. I think, Prism, are you new? I don't think I've seen you in the chat before. Or either way, welcome to the shit show. Shoggoth is trying to cast a mind control spell. Trouble is Shoggoth is a shit wizard. Very true.
You're a female without actually telling me you're a female. Yeah.
Wait, say what was that again?
Tell me you're a female without actually telling me you're a female. I'm a woman. Behold. I've told you I am a female without telling you I'm a female.
No, yeah, well, exactly, but...
Story time. So I went to South
Hold
Africa.
on. Hold on.
exactly.
What was that last one?
I guess he's trying to some kind of straw man of trying to find an answer that doesn't exist, I guess.
I don't know.
How do I say I'm a woman without saying I'm a woman and she can't come up with an answer?
But...
Story time. So I went to South Africa about a year and a half ago to study.
Congratulations
guess.
for you bougie motherfucker. I've never been outside the country.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
Racism and prejudice, and
Hold on. Wait, what? Hold on. I lost it.
about a year and a half ago to study racism and prejudice.
You're going to do well in the job market, I assure you.
And there were about 12 of us in the group, 6 men, 6 women. And one day we were talking about how women are constantly disrespected and talked over, especially in a business setting.
I want evidence of that. But you know what? Bedroom feminists don't come with evidence. Which means I can basically either disregard this or make fun of it.
And how the majority of those conversations are dominated by the men, specifically white men. So the women were thinking, oh wow, this is our time to shine. Like, obviously we have a lot of insight on this. And throughout that entire conversation, we were constantly cut off, disregarded. Like, it was impossible to get our points in because the conversation was dominated by the white men in the group. And my
Anyone else get the Tumblr? I get Tumblr story vibes off this one.
Yeah, and sometimes, it's pretty normal to have people cut you off without even realizing it. If like other people are deep into a conversation and you try to insert yourself, they might not even notice. I mean, I speak from experience myself.
mind you, this is a group of very much like-minded individuals, anti-racists, allies, feminists, and they had no idea that that's what they were doing. Men have always been given the space to speak, so you might not even realize that you do it. Try to catch yourself on it next time.
I'm sorry, did you say something?
There is no...
Oh, this one should be fun. Let's just read this. There is not a single man who actually believes in not all men because they tell their sisters and mothers to be careful. What?
Well, they tell them to be careful for the men who are bad. By saying not all men, that also does acknowledge that bad men do exist, which is why we warn our mothers and sisters.
Exactly. I want to see where she goes with this because that inherently is contradictory.
Believes in not all men because they'll tell their sisters and mothers to be careful and they'll obsess over controlling their wives and daughters because they know deep down they too assume that men are all the same.
No.
Men typically have more dominating personalities compared to women.
Regardless.
And also parents have a tendency to control what their children do.
But that doesn't inherently make the problem like so because I tell my sister to be careful, and I tell my mother to be careful and be safe, and I tell my other people in my life to be careful and be safe, I don't believe that men have inherently there are good people or good men in the world. Wow, that is a huge assumption to make. But the fact that I can acknowledge that there are negative aspects to my gender, or better yet, regardless of gender, I can acknowledge that there are bad people in the world, who are bad simply for the sake of being bad, and it is not an inherent characteristic of something they are. I feel like that warrants informing others that, hey, I want you to be safe because I care about you.
But to everybody else, it's no. Deep down, they too assume that men are all the same. But to everybody else, it's not all men. So to those men, instead of trying to distance yourself from the problem because you can't get over your bruised male ego, realize that if you refuse to acknowledge the problem by derailing the conversation and invalidating women, you are just as bad.
I think
We're invalidating a woman by pretty much explaining how shit actually works by applying gray to a situation that's not black and white.
Understanding nuance. Something
Exactly.
bedroom feminists have never understood.
a big part of the reason why we still have so much problem with violence against women is because our parents were fundamentally lazy in how they treated their AMAB children versus their AFAB children. I think that's
What?
They're what?
What?
Yeah, rewind that.
Oh, assigned male at birth. Assigned male at birth, assigned female at birth. That's what it is.
God.
Yes.
They're doing this.
Look, we knew this going in. She has the eyeliner and she has the hair. This is already like this our specimen has shown us its warning colors. We know what's inside.
sounds ridiculous. Well, let me run a quick scenario by you and let
Okay. So fundamentally lazy in how they treated their boys versus their girls.
me know if you relate to this. Your brother's teasing you? Oh, big deal. Just ignore him. He's only doing it to get a rise out of you. If you ignore him, he'll stop. So that's actually a minor form of parentification. What should happen?
What?
I'm an only child. I don't have a horse in this race.
Yeah, I teased my sister. You know what? She got over it. The horror. Oh, your brother's teasing you? Yeah, because he's your sibling and he'll treat you like shit. Doesn't mean he doesn't love you. Ooh, so long as he's not actively hurting you, what the fuck's the problem?
Is your parents should stop the behavior of their other child rather than demanding that you stop your reaction to the other child's behavior. And
What? No, it's saying, hey, he's your brother. He's not actively harming you. Ooh, grow a backbone, grow up, and move on with your day. Because it's not going to change anything if you're a If you're a whiner, the world's going to beat you up.
Fortunately, what that teaches boys is that they can harass girls and girls have to just deal with it. And it teaches girls that you're supposed to get harassed and just deal.
No.
So what about
harassment?
what about like older brothers picking on younger brothers?
No. This has nothing to do with harassment. This is me mispronouncing my sister's name because she doesn't like the way I do it. That is the scenario she's presented, and she has presented it as, if my parents tell my sister, hey, get over it, that's wrong. That teaches my sister that she has to put up with teasing. and harass that she has to put up with teasing, or in like that is what she is saying. But excuse me, like these are entirely two different scenarios. I'm not telling my sister, or hey baby, you've got nice cans. Ah. Ugh. I'm not harassing my sister. I'm not following her home. I'm not sending repeated text message. I'm not sending illicit pictures to my sister. I am not harassing her. I am poking her because that is what brothers and sisters do to one another. It's called being siblings. Now, the one reason I know this woman doesn't created this scenario and acted like this was a big deal is because she's probably an only child. So it's hard to explain that sort of sibling relationship.
I mean, I'm an only child, but even I understand that. Of course, I've been a lot of my friends over the years had siblings too, so I can easily put two and two together.
Deal with it. So does this sound familiar? She should have left him the second he put his hands on her. Honestly, it's her fault. Look at
No, that is never. I want to meet the person who said
And
that.
what stage in the relationship is he putting his hands on her?
Better question. Who in the world says that? Who? Point me in the direction. I want to know who this is. Because I would never. I have never and doubt I will ever hear someone say the moment he put his hands on her, she should have left. It's her fault. Like, yes, the moment someone puts their hands on you in a way you don't like, do your best to leave. And that's what your question comes in very poignant. Actually, like, is this the beginning stages? Is this like a couple years in? Is she financially dependent on him? Like, there's a lot of context to go with that putting his hands on her sentence.
the way that you're dressed. What did you expect would happen? Man,
I mean, not entirely wrong.
What?
If you dress in a very revealing way, yeah, guys are going to think that you want their attention.
No, I think she's referring to that in the context of a rape victim. And again, I would like to meet these people that have said these things. Because one of the things that feminists always are on about is the police asking what you were wearing. People ask what I was wearing if I was raped. It's like, yes, for forensic purposes, your rapist could have left DNA on your clothing. And that could lead to their capture and lead to them going to jail. Like, you need to have like a basic mild understanding of how the justice system works. Just because you throw rape at a man does not mean it will stick. Yet. They're trying, but yet.
it's honestly shocking that more people aren't talking about this.
None of us are that stupid.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock.
Okay.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock.
I don't know what's going on.
Just people dancing to Jingle Bell Rock.
Yes, I guess.
Yeah. Speaking
Okay,
of
so
which,
that's
it's almost halfway. It's almost half. Or It's almost halfway there to Christmas.
Yep.
Time to
Plays.
Next video.
Haha, Clayton doesn't use ad block.
I don't have it enabled.
When my sister was in 8th grade, there was a boy in 2 of her periods who would ask her out every single day. All
Okay.
Well, I hope she talked to a teacher about it.
day long, she would repeatedly tell him no. She didn't beat around the bush. She didn't lie. She didn't say she was taken. She just said no. One day, after being rejected several times, he said, "I have a gun in my locker. If you don't say yes, I'm going to shoot you."
Did she approach a teacher about this?
Yes, talk to a teacher. Hell, you can even probably go to the police.
Like, did she speak to a teacher? Did she speak to anyone about this?
She refused again, and right after class, she went to the principal's office and told them what happened. They searched his locker, and there was a gun in his backpack. When he was arrested, some of my sister's friends had told her that she was selfish for saying no so many times, that because of her, the entire school was in jeopardy, that it wouldn't have killed her to say yes.
Those friends are horrible people. I don't know what to tell you.
Get better friends. Like, that's all I need to say to that. Like, if you have friends like these, who needs enemies? But you clear like some of your sister's friends. Well, your sister needs better friends. Like, the boy is not in the right here, but neither are they.
Yeah, this isn't really a men problem. This is definitely a women problem.
Yeah, this is
If
definitely your social circle has the problem here.
Many of her male friends said it was girls like her that made all women seem like cock teases. Wouldn't have killed her to say yes. If a man is willing to shoot someone for
Oh my God, she's reading off a script. You know what? I'll give her props for that. She scripted the TikTok. It's not just an emotional rant. Good for her. You probably should have practiced it first, so you didn't obviously have eyes reading it.
saying no? What happens to the poor soul who does say yes? What happens the first time they disagree? What happens the first time she says she doesn't want to have sex, that she isn't in the mood? What happens when they break up? Stop blaming victims.
That's not victim blaming. Actually, you know what? She described actually fairly well victim blaming. But it's interesting that these are her sister's female friends. One moment. Like, it was the female friends that said these things. Probably also parents who were, concerned that someone had brought a gun to the school. But this tells me a lot about the social circle this woman's sister runs in.
And plus, this was what, middle school? Did she say it was like middle school? Well, if so, then yeah, no shit. Middle school kids say and believe a lot of dumb shit. I'm sure a lot of those girls nowadays, as adults, probably realize, yeah, that was a really stupid thing we said.
Sorry. My cat was clawing at the door. I don't like it when he does that, so I had to smack him.
Smack him.
Not that hard. All right.
Of National Women's Month. I kind of wanted to talk about how
You just got up like right now, didn't you? You just was like, all right, time to make my TikTok.
Well, it looks like she had time to do her hair and makeup.
There's too much vocal fry in her voice for her not to have just woken the fuck up.
Men and women view femininity and womanhood so differently.
Yes. Yeah, we do. It's called being individuals. It's also called differing brain chemistry, but
This is kind of obvious, but men clearly see femininity as the polar opposite of masculinity.
Yeah, that goes without saying.
Yes. One would assume that femininity and masculinity are opposites of one another.
But I feel like for the most part, girls aren't really viewing femininity in comparison to masculinity. Like, at least with the girls that I know, when we talk about this, we're never like, oh, it's the opposite of like men. It's the opposite of this, is the opposite, right? Because men think that, oh, masculinity is strength. So then they think femininity is weakness.
No. And this is now you can tell she barely thought this through. Because she just woke up.
They think masculinity is being assertive, so they think femininity is submission. But when I think of femininity, I am not ever thinking about men. My femininity and my womanhood has nothing to do with men or masculinity. It has everything to do with me.
Congratulations. I am woman, hear me roar. I was waiting for the inevitable shoe to drop of, I don't need men. And so I'm rewarded with this meme face, actually. Really. Just clip this. Clip this and put text around it. It'll be great.
In one of my last videos,
Teaching boys that real men would stop rape. What?
Okay.
Oh, God.
I talked about addressing one of the main roots of rape, which would be teaching boys not to rape, as opposed to telling women to buy more and more things to protect themselves.
Again, I ranted about this earlier, but taking personal responsibility for your own self is, something you should do. I, for example, have a firearm. I don't I have a firearm to protect myself because I acknowledge that there are bad people in the world.
Yeah, I mean, my dad never had to teach me not to rape. It's just kind of common sense that you don't do that.
Yes, and the people who do commit rape don't care. Like this is the thing. Like you can't teach someone not to do something when they don't care that what they're doing is wrong. You can tell a thief, and this is why, and I guarantee you it'll probably come up that she'll say this, do you leave your doors unlocked when you leave your home or your apartment? The obvious answer is no. Well, why? Because people might go into my apartment and steal things. Yeah, that's called protecting what you own. It's called protecting things. It's called taking personal responsibility.
There's actually a real-world example in Kenya. The program is called Your Moment of Truth, and it teaches boys 10 to 14 about consent, challenges rape myths, sex education, and how to intervene if they see a sexual assault happening.
What kind of rape myths are we talking about? Like actual are trying to quote debunk statistics that are actually true. I don't know. Just wondering.
Myths that they were challenging are that no means yes, and if she's wearing a short skirt, that means that she was asking for
it. So what if
no one believes those?
Okay, so I was about to say, I was about to say, what would happen if a girl came out as a lesbian? Would she have to go through this program? But then again, I don't know what Kenya's laws are on homosexuality.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a 6-week course that took place for 2 hours every week. And according to research from Stanford University, the percentage of boys who would intervene when they witnessed a sexual assault rose from 26% to 74%.
Okay, so what you had taught those boys is how to recognize and intervene in a sexual assault.
I've never witnessed a sexual assault. I don't know how many people even do that in their lifetime. I mean, if there's a sexual assault going on, chances are it's going to be the attacker and the victim alone in a room. It's not going. The attacker is going to try to do it where there's nobody else around.
Boys were also found to be less likely to endorse rape myths, and the incidence of rape from boyfriends or friends had fallen.
I find that hard to believe. Just a little.
So teaching boys seems to have an impact instead of just shrugging and saying, well, boys will be boys.
That's not a thing people say.
Can you just imagine that? Just like imagine that if imagine that just like a guy got arrested for committing rape, and let's say that the rapist parents are interviewed, and the parents just kind of they just kind of shake their heads in a very comedic fashion, saying, "Boys will be boys."
It's like, no, I can't imagine it. It would be ridiculous.
Exactly.
Also, I love that this program had a study saying boyfriends and friends, and rape went down, which means that rape among them still happened. Still occurred. Implying that all this program achieved was wasting 2 hours for 6 weeks of these boys' lives, is that they can't get back, and teaching them the one good thing of being able to identify the signs of sexual assault. But all right, let's see what this man is responding to. This question is for the boys. Boys, what makes a female instantly unattractive?
This guy said,
"Oh Lord, I can think of a lot of things."
this is a question for the boys. What makes a female instantly unattractive?
Okay, I'm not actually going to be answering.
Are you a boy? Are you Shoggoth? Are you Shoggoth on 2 Electric Boogaloo on this video?
The question, we're going to talk about the question itself and why we need to stop calling women females.
Oh God.
Well, we can't exactly call them women anymore because now, since that's now become that's
the plucked chicken is a man. Oh, Christ.
I mean,
and those who are already disagreeing.
I'm sorry. Go on.
Thoughts in their mind. Wait until the end of the video.
Okay. Let's listen to the smug black lady. Her smugness has cowed us. Let us listen in supplication.
Firstly, stop calling women females because it is dehumanizing. The word female can be used across multiple different species, and there actually is a human-specific word for us. It's woman.
Wow.
Yeah, but once again, nowadays woman is used a lot more loosely. Like a biological male can say I'm a woman, not even and barely do anything to resemble such.
Female is dehumanizing. I guess technically true, but who cares? Like, a woman is still a human female. Like that, she's a female of the species, and she is a human. Behold, humanized.
Whether you're doing this consciously or not, it reduces us to our reproductive organs and takes away our aspect of humanity.
Okay, why are men
You've
called
come to
male?
that conclusion on your own. Nobody told you to think that way. Well, maybe people in your inner circle.
That's not true. Female is one of those unique words that can be used as a noun. It is a person, place, or thing. A female would qualify as both a person and a thing.
Yeah, but I mean context. Context.
Like context, exactly correct.
I mean, I've never heard anybody ever complain about this before.
Secondly, it's just grammatically incorrect. Female is an adjective, not a noun.
No, it's a noun.
For example, if you're trying to categorize a group of athletes, female athletes versus male athlete, female is the adjective.
Yeah, in that particular situation, it would be an adjective.
Correct.
Hold on, I want to Google this.
Like the females of a species.
Okay, and here it is. Okay, so just Googling female definition. The first result is adjective. The second one is noun.
Huh. It's almost like language is adaptive and can, and one word doesn't have to specify a one group of people, one thing every single time. It just
Yeah, a lot of verbs can be used as nouns and vice versa.
Exactly.
Also, notice how it says boys and then female? Like, y'all know the difference. You know.
You're looking too deep into this.
You're
It's just a dude. It's just a dude asking a bro question to other dudes.
Yeah. By the way, this is what makes a female instantly unattractive.
Touche.
I'm sure something akin to bitchy smugness was mentioned, or at least feminism.
Inevitably going to jump into the comments to try to defend your right to call women females. If a group of people are telling you that a word is offensive, how about you just don't say it? It's not that hard to not be an asshole.
Why?
Practice
being an asshole makes me so much more fun to hang around.
Well, in that case, you SJWs really need to practice what you preach.
Never. They will never do that.
Think I like you. I do. You from another universe.
So, with as much respect to the original creator, he seems like he's a kid.
Wait, can you rewind that again? I want to read what it was saying. Let's see. Hey, girls, when a guy can handle all her mood swings and tantrums. Mm-hmm. Okay.
With as much respect to the original creator, he seems like he's a kid. This is super harmful. What's worse than the actual video is the
it's a dumb joke.
Yeah, it is. It is a dumb joke.
Girls saying things like, "Oh yeah, I appreciate it so much that you can handle me," or "Oh, I just wish I could find a guy who could deal with me. I'm such a burden."
Oh God, I think it's like the kind of person that the video is making fun of. just cut away to just right next to her. Just the other guy dancing just needs to be right next to her while she's rambling.
Exactly. By the way, look in the back. Find Baby Yoda.
Oh
wait, there was Star Wars trivia. Where was this?
Oh, I can see. Okay, I can see. Is that a Funko Pop?
Yes, it is a Funko Pop.
Oh, dear God.
The idea that just for a man to be in a relationship with a woman is a gift that he's giving to her. Growing up, so much of my internalized misogyny came from the fact that I truly believed that I would be so lucky if a man actually wanted to spend any time with me at all.
Sounds like you have a really bad history with men. It's not I think that's more of a personal problem.
I see, Cyrek. By the way,
because society continuously reinforces the idea that women are difficult and undesirable just as we are. Also,
I mean, women are difficult. That is kind.
People are difficult. Correction. No. People are difficult. People are difficult because you have to share space with them. Like, there are going to be things that, you don't like about a person. Regardless, this entire little response was a joke. It was a joke.
I've seen enough men throw literal tantrums over online gaming to know that mood swings are not just a woman thing.
That's not mood swings. That's literally being so frustrated at a game and you need to have an outlet. It is not randomly being angry because Tiffany decided to be because the cake was wrong or like they fucked up your McDonald's order.
Girls, a man spending time with you is not a fucking gift. Humans aren't perfect all the time. Women don't need to be to deserve male affection.
Hey, can I tell you something?
Oh God.
Ew.
Whereas the last specimen was okay. So where the last specimen was one of the more subtle ones, she actually had some decent points in there about, like who you are. Like you could take her rant, put it in better, like rewrite it to be better contexted. I doubt we'll get that from this one. This one has the warning, like she has the plumage. She has the plumage. She is warning us away from her. She is telling us all with bright colors that she is poisonous. She is toxic.
Straight up one of the coolest things I've ever learned.
Also, why would you pierce your septum like that?
Why would you pierce your septum? Period. I don't see the appeal in that at all. It's like it makes me think of like fucking cows.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
And the female gaze when looking at cinema.
Right,
Well, that's it. What is the most quick? Straight up one of the coolest things I've ever learned. Fascinating quick.
To deserve male affection.
Hey, can I tell you something really fascinating quick? Straight up.
No.
One of the coolest things I've ever learned. What is the most prominent difference between the male gaze and the female gaze when looking at cinema? Well, that.
Neither
Guys
of these
like
things
tits.
exist.
What can I say?
That's easy. The female gaze is like when Chris Hemsworth doesn't wear his shirt in Thor. Actually,
What did she say?
Why?
I couldn't even hear what she said.
Actually, no. That is the male gaze. Male gaze and the female gaze when looking at cinema. Well, that's easy. The female gaze is like.
Oh, is she trying to do a straw man?
Yeah. When Chris Hemsworth doesn't wear his shirt in Thor. Actually.
Not wrong.
Not wrong.
Actually, then again, what even is the male and female gaze?
Like it's a feminist, it's an unpeer-reviewed feminist, like social, like sociology. I couldn't think of the word. Sociology paper that was made in like the 80s. It basically breaks down like because certain camera angles are used on women and women are used in advertising more, it's about pleasing this so-called male gaze without it actually doesn't have any sort of scientific backing to it. There's no evidence for
it. What can I say? Sorry, the rum's really kicking in right now.
Male gaze, because that is the way that men perceive women.
And yes, women like looking at guys and looking at guys sexualized. Case in point, Twilight and 50 Shades.
Yeah. Better question. If that's the male gaze, do women not like that? Well, suppose you wouldn't like that, given that you have some form of mannequin in the back there. Like, what is that? What are you doing back there?
Maybe she's some kind of designer.
Why this is mostly found in films directed by men, or really
You know what? Female directors are just as capable of, making female movies appealing. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying at this point. At that, I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. The cringe is getting to me.
shitty rom-coms. Yeah.
And yet they sell like hotcakes. You know what my mother and my sister and my aunt turn on during Thanksgiving and the Christmas and all that, right? It's Hallmark. The Hallmark Channel. Where the cliched Mary Sue-ish, like frumpy girl next door falls for the guy, and people watch it and they cry and they laugh, and it's cliche and formulaic and watched by not I have no doubt, millions of women and during the holiday season.
That is the way that men look at female bodies. This is the male gaze. There's whole papers written on this and you can read it. But what is the female gaze? And
Okay, regardless, do women not like that?
where is it the most prominent in cinema? Behold, in all of its glory, the female gaze. Right? And wha-bam! That right there. The female gaze is based most
What?
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 hands. Yeah, like
What?
Is she some kind of hand fetishist?
I don't know. Like I what? By what evidence?
I could make a JoJo reference, but that's beneath me.
times hotter than Chris Hemsworth without his shirt.
I don't believe you, but okay.
I hope you learned something and go forth and think about, Mr. Darcy's hand flex because
I want to talk about.
Oh.
Okay, fuck
so
it. I'm
she's
making
just
a
hot for
okay.
Mr. Darcy.
Okay, fuck it. I'm making a JoJo reference. She's like the female Yoshikage Kira.
No idea who that is.
He's a villain from JoJo Part 4. He's a serial killer and also a hand fetishist.
Makes sense.
An uncommon red flag. So a lot of girls will say that they. A lot of girls will say, I want to talk about an uncommon red flag.
All right.
So a lot of girls will say that they don't want their boyfriend to have any friends that are women or any girls in their life that aren't them. So another common argument is that, guys don't see you as anything more than your body.
Wait, start over from the beginning. I was looking at something else.
Yeah, I'm starting over from the beginning because I'm trying to figure out what she's trying to say.
Common red flag. So a lot of girls will say that they don't want their boyfriend to have any friends that are women or any girls in their life that aren't them. So
yeah,
another
my cousin had an ex-girlfriend that was like that.
That
Not exactly fun.
guys don't see you as anything more than your body. They are not going to initiate a friendship with a woman that they are not attracted to. And so I am a feminist, okay? And I
like how you have to say it still. You have to announce that you have the feminist credentials to speak on this topic. It's so much fun. Like women do this relatively horrible thing to their boyfriends. It's a way of isolating them from other women, and so they don't cheat on them. so they don't supposedly cheat on them. But men do this thing where they only want you for your body. Your mind has nothing to do with it. I'm a feminist. I know what I'm talking about.
I expect and demand for the men in my life to respect and value women outside of their sexual value. Okay.
No. You're good for a breeder. Get in the kitchen, bitch.
Okay. So think about this. If
I've just said the most offensive thing I could tell her.
Calling her a breeder?
Yes.
I guess so. I mean,
like literally, and she would jump me, and I guarantee you, when I told her that, she would get offended, and then she would follow me around for the rest of the day, being like,
I find that I just find that such a strange insult to call straight people.
I don't know.
It's like it feels really weird. Like some people have this idea that in order to even the playing field, they have to have offensive slurs for the opposite side,
Dude,
instead of just
like social justice women, like if you treat them like if you mildly say stuff like that, they'll come after you, but they'll also want to fuck you, which is hilarious.
If your boyfriend is not capable of having platonic long-term relationships with women, then that means he does not respect or value women enough to create any relationships with them that are not sexual. And that is
I feel like she's about to cry, but let's address this. Of the individual female friendships that I've had over the course of my lifetime, I have not, in my experience at the very least, had any group of friends survive a female involving have survived that friendship. Why? Because sex got involved. Because the women decided that they wanted to date. One of the two of the individuals decided they wanted to date. Sex got involved, and everybody else got pulled into their relationship drama. And then, after they had sex, after they dated and they broke up, usually the woman took the guy with her. Yes, men and women find it difficult. I won't say impossible, but difficult to be friends without sex being involved. Because, being mildly attracted to one another or just being around one another can be enough.
Well, it's a good thing I'm very stingy about what kind of women I find attractive. And good thing you're gay, so neither of us have hopefully neither of us have to get pulled into this shit personally.
You think the only relationships your boyfriend can make with other women are in the sexual way, because that means he's a fucking creep. And if his friendships with other women are disrespectful towards your relationship, then that's just offensive to you, and he needs to go anyway.
And that's the end of that video. Thank God.
So are all these just gonna end with Jingle Bell Rock?
Yes.
It's a nice song.
But anyway, I think that's about it for tonight.
Yeah, man, I'm having a hard time paying attention. It's that rum's really kicking in right now.
All right. Well, all right. Well, in that case, thank you all so much for coming and hanging out with us. We'll be back to rewriting Ripley next week.
Yeah, take care, guys.
Y'all have a good night.